Well, hello, beautiful.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to discuss what is the difference between Deno and Node.js. Deno vs Node.js has been an interesting topic for comparison, as both has been created by Ryan Dahl. Moreover, Node.js was actually first created as a runtime by him, and he has been working on Node.js since 2009, but in 2018, he gave a speech on 10 things I regret about Node.js, in which he also announced Deno as a modification to Node.js. Deno is actually a new JavaScript and TypeScript runtime, and in this Deno, he fixed the regrets which he had with Node.js. Deno was launched on May 2020 with a lot of improvements like Node. Deno is also built on the V8 JavaScript engine, and there are a lot of similarities between both the projects. There's no argument in saying that Node.js is the world's most popular and widely used JavaScript runtime environment. But with the arrival of Deno in 2018, it created a big hype, and developers can now access a more secure framework with modern features. Deno was actually introduced by the same author, and it was said that Deno is going to be as a successor here to fix some of the major design pitfalls which Node.js had. Although the announcement of Deno sparked a lot of speculation about whether or not Deno is going to replace Node.js, so far there haven't been any significant changes, as most developers remain satisfied with Node.js.
Change is good.
So first, let's understand what is Node.js. Node.js is actually a server-side open-source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment built on Google's V8 JavaScript engine. It is not a programming language nor a framework. It's been dominating the web development world since 2009. Node.js mainly focuses on event-driven HTTP servers. When it comes to handling requests, it runs a single-threaded event loop registered with the system, and each incoming request triggers a JavaScript callback function. The callback function in Node.js are actually capable of handling requests using a non-blocking input-output calls. Additionally, Node.js can distribute a load among CPU cores by spawning threads from a pool to carry out blocking or CPU-intensive tasks. Unlike most rival frameworks that scale via threads, Node's callback function-based scaling mechanism can accommodate more requests with minimal memory usage. Therefore, Node.js is a lightweight and it's ideal for scalable, data-intensive, real-time web applications that can run on distributed devices, thanks to its asynchronous input-output and event-driven architecture. Node.js, as described as an asynchronous event-driven JavaScript runtime, is an extremely popular JavaScript runtime considered the standard by most JavaScript developers worldwide. Node.js can be used to build server-side or desktop application, and it's been available to JavaScript users since 2009. Node.js has been a hit among many developers because it offers a module system to use third-party code as a library, as well as the require function or import modules from other files, node packages or third-party libraries. So now let's understand what is Deno. Deno is a newer framework built by the developer of Node.js, Ryan Dahl. Deno was designed to have a better package management system and more secure runtime compared to Node. Additionally, Ryan wanted to make Deno a most modern platform by considering many of the legacy libraries available in Node. In order to offer a simple, secure runtime, Deno uses a web-based platform standards with a single executable file and offers built-in development tooling. It has an alternate set of standard modules that are guaranteed to work with Deno runtime. Deno can also run TypeScript files natively without any additional configuration. According to Ryan, the creator, Node.js had actually three significant drawbacks. A poorly designed module system that relies on centralized distribution. It shared unstable legacy APIs and lack of security, as there are many security vulnerabilities related to Node.js. Deno actually fixed all these three problems and provided a better experience. It's built on V8.js engine similar to Node.js and also Rust and Tokyo. Deno adopts web platform standards as it always distributed with a single executable file, as already said, and has built-in development tooling to provide a productive, secure runtime. It has some more standard modules that are ensured to function properly during the Deno runtime.
You two are nothing alike.
Thank you.
Let's first understand some similarities between Node and Deno before we dive deeper. On a basic level, Deno and Node are pretty similar. Both offer package management, a system for importing modules and other third-party code, and a solid standard library. Additionally, both Node and Deno can use TypeScript. It's a popular superset of JavaScript which was developed by Microsoft. It is slightly more difficult to get started with TypeScript when using Node, though Deno and Node have used the same V8 JavaScript engine which was created by Google. This means that in-browser performance should be just about the same between the two frameworks.
Next year it's going to be different.
Now let's understand the differences between Node and Deno. Node was actually built using C and C++ mostly, while Deno was mostly built using a newer language called Rust. Rust is a multi-paradigm low-level programming language originally built by Mozilla and to be a memory-safe and statically typed alternative to all other system-level languages present. This allows the underlying architecture of the Deno library to catch internal errors at compile time. These improvements affect Deno's internals only, not the performance of your code. The performance of TypeScript and JavaScript code using Deno is about the same as the code running in Node.js. On a higher level, Node.js uses NPM for package management, while Deno technically does not have a package manager. Unlike Node, Deno can import packages directly from their source, which is actually called the Deno land CDN, GitHub, or any URL that resolves to a compatible module. Now let's dig deeper into the differences specifically. First, let's talk about third-party package management. With Deno, developers can install packages straight from URLs without having a centralized registry like NPM, as I already said. Despite the risk of downloading packages directly from the URL, for example, if the server hosting the package is compromised, an attacker could modify the code to include malicious functionality. Deno offers a way to mitigate this by catching downloaded modules. Packages can be directly imported into the script as a library by allowing scripts to run from any public URL. Deno enumerates the necessary for a package manager to import the modules. However, there's a risk still in importing modules from a third party. Package.json file and node modules file is also removed. In contrast, Node.js, which actually uses NPM to handle all packages, has a vast ecosystem of libraries and packages. Deno's module import mechanism is more flexible than Node.js, allowing you to import code from anywhere, including from GitHub and any CDN or any registry you host. This enables seamless module imports without the need for downloading or installing. Now let's talk about APIs, Node.js and Deno. In Node.js, the concept of promises or async await was introduced in JavaScript before the concept of Node.js was created. Hence, most APIs were designed to accept an error-first callback. This means frequently created words, complex code was involved. Now that Node developers have access to this async await syntax, they must also manage backward compatibility because APIs change frequently and are unstable. Whereas APIs in Deno, this is entirely different. There's no requirement to encapsulate it to an async function since it already uses await and supports the latest JavaScript features. Therefore, Deno facilitates binding future-based APIs into JavaScript promises by simplifying the process for developers. Deno is also intended to be compatible with web platform APIs used by JavaScript code running in browsers. A number of the most popular advanced web APIs such as Fetch, Web Storage, Web Workers, and Broadcast Channel are supported in a way that meets standards. Next, one of the important point is security. Security was one of the main reasons why Ryan Dahl created Deno. Deno executes all the code in a secure sandbox environment that forbids access to the file system. Deno first asks for authorization before accessing the file system. To get permission, you need to give it a valid command line argument that would prevent any file from being removed without the developer's consent. Several command line flags in Deno can be used at runtime to enable particular functionalities for particular scripts. These functionalities are inactive by default. You must explicitly set a flag for any elements your script might require. Some of the flags mentioned in Deno are displayed here, like for example allow environment, which helps to allow environment access for things like getting and setting environment variables, and allow HR time, it helps to allow high resolution time measurement, and allow net, it allows certain networks to get access and restrict few networks, and also allow read, it allows file system to read access, and allow run, which allows running subprocesses, and allow write to allow file system write access. Node.js was never supposed to be a highly secure framework. For example, Node doesn't require granting access to read or write to the file system, and it's not sandboxed. So any third-party library can cause trouble with a little bit of negligence. Also, there are standard security measures that guard against threats like cross-site request forgery, CSRF, XSS, cross-site scripting, advantages to Node users. These mechanisms involve checking the logs, correctly managing errors and exceptions, and verifying user input. So despite getting used to the security node module strictness, Deno is the best option for a more secure environment. Now let's talk about TypeScript support. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript that enables user to add optional static typing. Deno actually supports TypeScript out of the box by utilizing a TypeScript compiler with a caching technique. As a result, Deno can compile, type check, and execute your code without translating it to JavaScript. Although Node.js lacks inherent TypeScript support like Deno, TypeScript is well known and widespread language in the Node.js community, thanks to the TypeScript package. As a result, TypeScript and Node can function along quickly with minimal effort. If you already have Node and npm installed, you just have to run npm install -g TypeScript to install TypeScript on your machine globally. Next, run tsc -init to create a TypeScript configuration file. The TypeScript compiler tsc can then be used to compile your .ts files. Deno is the appropriate framework if you like TypeScript and prefer to try out of box things. Also, developing with TypeScript in Deno doesn't require any extra configurations. Now let's understand why developers choose Node over Deno. In everything we have covered so far, it's obvious that Deno provides some special features for developers compared to Node.js, such as strong support system and native TypeScript compatibility. The design strategies and other built-in tools are made with intentions of giving developers a productive runtime environment and a positive experience. So why hasn't Deno replaced Node already? As we can see, the adoption of Deno over Node.js is really slow. There are many reasons developers still prefer using Node.js despite having a new modern framework that addresses many of its design problems. When Node.js was originally released, a few of us began using it and we were utilizing it in live applications. Over the years only, Node.js has changed a lot in order to meet the needs of the software development community. It is now the most widely used JavaScript runtime. Because of its widespread use, you can access a top community of skilled developers. Built on npm, the Node.js package system is extensive and simple to handle. Therefore, When flexibility and familiarity are your main concerns, Node.js is the best option. However, Node hasn't achieved perfection. Far from it actually, Deno makes advancements in various important fields. Node is still behind, especially when it comes to security and standard compliance. Deno's single binary pattern makes it more portable than Node, and the open-ended module architecture may be established as the future norm for dependency imports. So what actually keeps developers from shifting to Deno? Although Deno's community is active, but it's very small compared to Node. Deno specific packages are quite rare and Node's compatibility layer isn't always reliable. If you wish to use a certain library or if you require assistance, this could put you in a high disadvantage. One clear area where Deno falls short is the lack of third-party packages, as well as the fact that given in immaturity, it hasn't undergone as much real-world use case as Node. On the other hand, Node.js is quite modular. Many libraries can be found in one location, and thanks to npm package where anyone can develop a Node package and deploy it and use it, and there are already several packages available, so we can update our work by downloading countless number of packages. Additionally, many of these features that Deno offers can be achieved in Node.js with the help of third-party libraries. Therefore, if there are only a few aspects of Deno that you like, you can probably accomplish the same with Node.js, though not as smoothly as with Deno. The simplicity of working with permissions in Node is an additional crucial feature. You can quickly receive feedback on the platform without having to go through a variety of authorizations. Node.js requires minimal effort for quick coding because it rarely requires specific permission. As a result, it's ideal for all sorts of dynamic projects that demand regular updates and a large team of experts. Therefore, taking all these factors into account, I would say that most developers are happy with the direction Node.js are taking and aren't likely to make any changes anytime soon. Compared to the large and thriving Node.js community, a community worth of further exploration, Deno is the learning how to walk stage. It hasn't been yet thoroughly tested in a real-world system of production, and developers are still adjusting to this new runtime environment. It solves important Node drawbacks, including security, modules, callbacks, and the central distribution system. From the time being, Deno is most interestingly to early developers, it has been a best thing. Gradually, the community supporting Deno will be able to grow and make it necessary for web development maybe in the future, but not now. So should you use Node or Deno? When it comes to choosing between Node and Deno, there isn't a clear winner. Both systems have their advantages and disadvantages. Node is much more mature framework, as I already said, that developers have been successfully using it since 2009. But with the maturity comes security issues and may compromise sensitive applications. Deno is a newer framework created specifically to fix some issues that developed in Node. Deno has an earlier import system and uses TypeScript by default with no extra effort on your part. Having said that, here are a few scenarios where Node is a better choice than Deno. You're not interested in using TypeScript or the TypeScript ecosystem. The codebase requires specific Node libraries or packages only available on NPM. Most of your work involves legacy Node imports. Likewise, there are situations when Deno is a clear winner over Node. Your projects are mostly greenfield work where you have the flexibility to choose your tooling accordingly. You have a legacy project that can benefit from TypeScript features. You prefer the flexibility of Deno's package management over Node. So after comparing the key features of Deno and Node.js, I hope you can see some Deno's potential and understand why developers are slow to adopt it. Deno will undoubtedly continue to attract more and more attention and has a very promising future. But the software developer who needs to get things done, you are the one who's going to decide what best suits your need. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as it would really mean a lot. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.